experience.
"70 years ago, Formula One began its journey to become one of the most iconic motorsports in the history of sports. But it is here today that we celebrate the very best of PSGL, past and present, for round one of Formula Experience. And we are here at Silverstone for the British round. We have 6 rounds for you, plenty of entertainment on offer. Built on the site of a former World War II RAF base, this circuit in its original form hosted the very first official Formula One World Championship race in 1950. And incidentally, it was an Alfa Romeo 123 that day, and the first Brit ever to get a podium on that particular day as well. And we've seen some great home race wins over the years, the likes of Nigel Mansell, Damon Hill and David Coulthard, to name a few. Lewis Hamilton, that amazing weather race win in 2008. This 5.8-kilometre circuit has seen various changes to its format over the years, but it still remains one of the most popular and challenging circuits on the calendar. We have 2 DRS zones here around the 18 corners. Turn 1 particularly dangerous on lap 1 given its flat-out nature, and it will be from the exit of the majestic Beckett onto the hanger straight into Stowe, which will be the main overtaking opportunity here today for this 26 lap race around the Silverstone circuit. 18-minute qualifying session as usual. 70% of the lap is taking a full throttle. There is not too many big braking zones except for the aforementioned Stowe corner. And in terms of the tyre selections, quite similar in terms of pace difference to the pre-season race at Spain. It's a 0.6 second advantage for the softs over the mediums and 1.2 seconds over the hards to the softs. Now in terms of the pit strategy, so we're likely to see one stop will absolutely dominate here. It's one of the longest pit lane times here, which we'll mention in a minute. Now here are the allocations for round 1. So HD and Juho Vin in the Mercedes, Cablo, and it will actually be Hulkenberger in the Ferrari, Mr. Grumpy and Blue Mosquito, who have 1,000 races between them in the Red Bull, Josh and Juliana Manu, the reigning champion, in the Racing Point, Game Freaker and Free Gloves going in the McLaren, the 3-time PSGL F1 champion Iron and Flying Throne, who actually raced at the very first F1 race back in 1950. And then in Renault, AMS and Ugezim in the Renault. And then in the Alfa Romeo, it is Paudi and Jamie, a former PSGL F1 champion himself. And then Big C, the big gun, in the Toro Rosso alongside QPR Beast. And then it's Greeny and Ash Best in the Williams. Greeny, happy birthday to him, incidentally. Can he make it a great victory here in round 1 as we get ready to go ahead with qualifying? You see a few pre-shots as they get ready to go for their qualifying laps, flying a lap here. Very dramatic scenes here. And well, let's get away under the action. It's very much flashy stuff here, and a warm welcome to those who have joined the chat already. And I'm going to give it up to the viewers. Who do you want to go on a hot lap? Let me know who you want to go on, and we will endeavour to pick someone. They're all on their out laps at the moment. So let's get all the various information up there, track data, telemetry. So perhaps we'll give Greeny the hot lap because he's already started it actually. We'll come back to him. I want to get the full lap here, the full experience lap here of Silverstone. A lot of people prefer the old format of Silverstone. I kind of like both formats really. I mean, they have their merits. I mean, the old track did have more character to it in terms of Maggots, Beckett and Chapel, and the old start finish straight I do kind of miss going into Cops. I do, especially the kind of camera angle you had there. So let's see. In fact, I think it's going to be more fitting. Let's go with Juliana Manu. Is he near? No, he's still on his out lap actually. So quite a few people flying Throne. He's not near the end of the lap. No, he's just going through Lovefield actually. So is anyone actually near the end of the lap? Well, let's get the full map, then I can actually see. Still a little bit rusty on this. Well, let's go for a lap with Ogie Azim of this Silverstone circuit. And here we go then. Over the start finish line he goes, heading into Abbey for the first time. One of the most dangerous turn 1s of the season it will be at the start of the race, that is for sure, along with Hockenheim, such a fast corner. Then getting it slowed down into this sort of small arena section. And then it's going and avoiding a Red Bull as Greeny sets the early pace of 1:29.013. This is a performance league, of course, so the different car performances will have an effect here. So then up to Brooklyn's end, heavy braking, usually getting it all the way down to 4th gear. And then he's going to be just keeping it on to Van. Oh, goes a bit deep in the next part of the corner. And then that's through Luffield. And then on to Woodcote, the old start-finish straight. Which, you know, it wasn't that long ago. I think 2010 was when they put the new international version of the Silverstone circuit. Then through Copse, such a thrilling corner. Will he? Yeah, he keeps at least a couple of the wheels within the circuit, and that's what we want to see. You don't want to see two people, maybe people. And then through the majestic Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel, one of the most famous sequences of any racetrack on the planet. Just absolutely fantastic when you get it correct. Then onto the Hanger Straight. DRS enables all the way up to over 200 miles an hour before the heavy braking into Stowe. It's a great place to watch racing if you're lucky enough to get one of the more expensive tickets at this particular track. And then into the Vale to complete the lap through Club Corner, turn 18, and that will complete the lap. What's it going to be for Ugi Azim, a former PSGL F1 race winner, as Blue Mosquito gets disqualified from the session. Well, he's had an absolute mare. We did see that Red Bull off earlier, and I wonder if that was related to that. So Blue Mosquito is guaranteed to start at the back of the grid. So that is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate indeed. So it's actually Iran who has the early pace setting with a 1:28.292. So that's a significant advantage at this point. He's got a 0.3 of a second gap to Game Freak below. So there may be some accusations of corruption in terms of the allocation if Iran comes over. All cats are grey. And actually, I'm going to actually just call him Josh because this is actually Josh. So I'm going to just call him Josh. So much easier to say than that particular name. But he sets the pace, 1:28.229. Decent time in the racing points. That's Hulkenberg in a Ferrari, 1:27.748. Well, given how terrible he was at the pre-season race, it looks like Nico Hulkenberg himself has actually taken over the drive for this evening as he goes onto the grass to get out of the way of that Mercedes, who I believe is HDE. No, it's not HDE. That's, in fact, it was no. Ash Best is coming into the pit lane. Couldn't quite tell what car that was from the glare. In fact, that was a Toro Rosso. So was that Big C? No, Big C's in the pit lane, so that must be QPR Beast. Yeah, QPR Beast has got up to 4th position. And Simo in the chats, you know, he'd had enough of the game after the F5 season finished, and he promptly sold it. Let us know if he actually managed to sell it. I'm surprised anyone would buy that game at this point. It's probably worth nothing. Probably worth more as a doorstop at this stage, with the new game shortly around the corner. And I just want to say it's a real pleasure to be back commentating on I guess you can't really call it a full season. It's only 6 races, but it is really good. I've commentated on pretty much all of these names in this field at some stage. Oh, and there's a Hasselhoff in the background. Is that Flying Frome? It is Flying Frome. He has hit the wall, and he has lost half his wing. I did mention that he did race at the very first Formula 1 race back in 1950. That's how old he is, and that's how long he has been on the grid. But perhaps he needs to call it a day with driving like that. But it's all in good jest. Frome, don't kill me. You got 26 quid for that game? Seriously? Wow, mate. You could literally sell sand to the Arabs with that kind of sales skill. Frome will return to the pits to get a new wing. The Haas team. Guttersteiner not very pleased with his car being damaged again. So AMS, P10 at the moment, former PSGL Formula Performance champion, of course. And Joliet Anamanu in the pit lane, the reigning champion, of course. But Big C, he was very impressive in the pre-season race, won it comfortably. Joliet Anamanu finished on the podium, so you know he can't be discounted at all. Let's have a look at Free Gloves. Yeah, Free Gloves is out there. Can someone tell me if Free Gloves used to race under a different name? Because I'm not familiar with the Free Gloves name. Because obviously these are all experienced PSGL drivers, so he must have been around before under a different name. That would be very helpful. Just not familiar with... That's the only name I'm not familiar with. The Juho... So he's one of 3 drivers who have yes at the time. We saw Frome crashing earlier. And then Juho Finn, P19. He hasn't set a time either. So we'll carry on with Free Gloves because the majority of the field's still on their outlaps. HDDE, the extra E standing for experience, of course, is now up into P2. Just under 2.5 tenths off the leading time by Hulkenberger in the Ferrari, which is the 1:27.748. Let's see what Free Gloves does. Crosses the line in the Papaye McLaren, and that is P11. So just over a second covering the top 11 at the moment. Greeny LSC, we mentioned, it's his birthday. He would love a great result here today to start the season. Not sure how old he is, but he's probably younger than most of the grid at this stage. But certainly has plenty of experience, particularly in PSGL F1. He's had some podiums there, and plenty of success in Formula Performance in recent seasons as well. Oh, don't worry, there's plenty of stats for me to mention AMS, but I can't blow my load straight away because that would not make for a very good broadcast. Greeny then, across the line, P11 improves by a significant amount, just over 0.2 of a second. So, the Williams, the high downforce circuits like this one, and when I say high downforce, I mean sort of the faster corners that requires really good downforce just to go through. And this is where the Williams struggles. So I think Greeny was really impressive in the pre-season race to get that dog of a car into P7. So that's why the allocation is for him. You just think if he had the chance at a faster car, he would be really competitive. So there's quite a few drivers out there anyway. Let's see. Big C is out there, the pre-season race winner, heading through the end of Sector 1, and he's slightly up on his best time. Just over half a tenth up. And QPR Beast is out there as well. Let's see. What about Mr. Grumpy? No, Mr. Grumpy's on an outlap. And the Mercedes Juho Finn is just going through Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. Hasn't said time. It's actually on the hard tyres. So let's see. Best times all 7 softs. Now, in terms of the pit strategy, it's not too much of a surprise that this is going to be the most one-stop races, because you lose the best part of 35 to 40 seconds in the pit lane. You really don't want to do 2 stops here during a race, unless, of course, there's a safety car. And Juho Finn getting a feel for circuit, may even validated, so that's his run over. So we'll go back to, let's have a look, who else is out there? So AMS is out there, Ugi Azim, I think he's, yeah, Ugi Azim's on the hanger straight, and then he's got the Ferrari Cablo just behind him, and then Big C behind him. So we'll keep an eye on these 3 for the time being. So Ugi Azim flying through Stowe. He's 1.5 seconds off the pace at the moment. It's not going to be something that pleases the Royal Palm Express. If I butchered that, I'm very sorry. And that is P15 for him. Cablo will cross the line. And what's that going to be for Cablo? That's going to be P10 for Cablo. And then Big C crosses the line. And that puts him into P5. So a really good effort from Big C. And QPR Beast currently in P7. So they're not lapping multiple laps in terms of fuel. So that would suggest it's going to be a dry race. So Jolly Manu, the reigning champion, the reigning defending undisputed Formula Experience champion, and Hulkenberg goes even faster, 127, 413 I should say. So Hulkenberg certainly getting over the difficulties. He must have been practicing a lot after we visited Catalonia, a short trip on the plane back to Britain, did the 2 weeks quarantine, and spent all his time practicing for this very race this evening, and it appears to be paying off so far. So your current top 5 is Hulkenberger, HDEE, Iran, Powdy, and Big C. 5 different cars, 6 different cars I should say, in the top 6, and that's what you want to see, a nice mixture of different engine suppliers and performance. So as I say, this is not an equal performance league, this is performance. So all the 2019 car performance is reflected, so it is somewhat down to the drivers based on the allocations to get the very best out of the car that they can. And yeah, well, so we got some news from the Red Bull garage. Christian Horner, disguised as Blue Mosquito, has told us that the throttle pedal on the car jammed, but it should be okay for the race. And starting from the back of Britain, given how dangerous Turn 1 is, may not be the worst thing in the world for him. So is anyone else out there? Jolly Manu, I think, is heading for the Vale and Club Corner. So let's see if Jolly Manu can improve on his current time. 1.3 seconds off the pace in a moment. What will this be for Jolly Manu? It's going to be P9, so it puts him into the top 10. So it's now 1.1 seconds covering the top 9, so the gaps are starting to go. But Hulkenberg has a significant advantage with just over 4 minutes of this qualifying session to go for round 1 of PSGL Formula Experience. Of course, all the season's over now for PSGL, so this is going to be your viewing pleasure for the next 6 weeks, which should nicely fill the time between this game and F1 2020. And there's a lot of hype around the game at the moment. The My Team modes and the various fixes and new features, and of course a couple of new circuits. I'm very much looking forward to driving on Zandvoort. From the videos I've seen, it looks a real thrill to drive, although it looks narrow as heck. So I think it's going to be quite difficult. It may be like a sort of a Hungary style circuit where qualifying will be really important, but if you get stuck in slow traffic, it's going to absolutely ruin your strategy. So I think it's going to be a similar nature to that. A faster Hungary though, admittedly, because there's definitely a lot more fast corners on that circuit. And you know, hopefully by then Formula One will be back. You know, a double header at Austria, and Britain apparently will be trying to do a double header as well. Greeny LFC is heading towards the end of Sector 1. He's 2 tenths up on his previous best, but Free Gloves is going to finish next, and he is currently 2 tenths up, so this could be a couple of tenths, could be good enough to put him into top 10. Let's see then. Free Gloves across the line, and it's P12. So not a big improvement, but enough to get him up. Jolian Amanu is still out there. Josh in P6 returns to the pits. And it looks like Juho Finn's on an outlap, so Juho Finn trying to go again. Hasn't got much time though, Juho Finn. If he messes up this lap, he will not have time to get another fresh set of tyres. It's a very long lap here. Best part of a minute and a half to complete a lap here. The Greeny NFC still out there, heading towards Hangar Straight. Let's go on board with him. Nearly hitting just about 200 miles an hour, then plunging on the brakes. As committed as he can, down to 40. Oh, runs very wide. And I'm not sure that was an invalidation straight away, but he is returning to the pits. So we'll go have a look. Josh is out there for another lap, so he's going to be among those getting an early last run in. That's often a good idea at Silverstone. It's very easy to catch a lot of drivers now coming back onto the circuit. Juho Finn is on a fast lap, so we may catch with him. So we're entering the climax end of this qualifying session, and it's been pretty cagey so far. It seems like to me a lot of the drivers haven't put in their best runs yet. I think some of them have had a few errors here and there. So we'll carry on with Josh through the so-called loop, and then up to the end of Sector 1, and it's slightly slower, and then through Luffield, where infamously, of course, in the 2019 race, they decided to cut to the crowd when Bottas and Hamilton were having a great battle. So hopefully you won't see any of that sort of shenanigans. I think generally speaking, commentators on the F1 games are much better at directing the cameras than the real life people, that is for sure. So all cats I think is invalidated because he is very, very slow. Lots of outlaps then. So Hulkenberg, HD and Iran seem to be the main protagonists at the moment, but you can't count out likes of Big C. And I still think there's a few drivers out there who definitely will look to be improving. Mr. Grumpy and Flying Throne, 17th and 18th. You know, I mean, 2.2 seconds off the pace for Flying Throne. Did have that incident, of course, on the Hangar Straight out of the exit of Chapel, which would not have pleased him at all. Free Gloves retires from the session, so he's had enough. So Big C then trying to improve. It's Hulkenberg. Now what about Cablo? Cablo is out there. So Cablo's heading towards the end of his lap. So what's Cablo going to do? Currently P13 in the other Ferrari. One Ferrari is at the top of the mountain at the moment. Can Cablo get anywhere near to joining Hulkenberg? Across the line he goes, and it's slower. Unless that was an outlap, but the timing was up. It didn't say outlap, so I think, yeah, no, he's on one lap. So that's it for his session. So let's look at Hangar Straight, because that's where we're going to catch more of the drivers. Juho Finn, yeah, he's clearly invalidated again. So who's that in the Alfa Romeo? No, that's not Powdy, so that must be Jamie, the season 18 champion, the first PSGL F1 champion I commentated on. It was a thrilling four-way title fight at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix that season between Jamie, Big C, Gamer the Best as he was called back then, and QPRB. So four-way title fight, and it was Jamie who won it by a single point. So Jamie crosses the line, and it's P5 for Jamie, so improves on his second run. So excellent stuff from him. There's more drivers coming through now. Hulk I believe is coming through the final corner. Can Hulk improve on his best time at the moment? Hulk goes across the line, and he does not improve. Can anyone else improve? Big C coming across the corner. HD just up ahead. He improves, but not by enough. Big C across the line. He does not improve. So Mr. Grumpy crosses the line. Mr. Grumpy goes into P10. There's more cars coming in front. And Jolian Amanu, the reigning champion, is in a very lowly position at the moment. Josh heading for the line at the moment. And it's P6 for Josh. Well done for Josh. And there's another Renault. Is that AMS? I think that's AMS. Yeah, AMS. So the checkered flag is out now. So there's no AMS goes in. So Jolian Amanu braking hard before the Vale and then into club corner for the final time of the session. Across the line he goes. It's going to be P11 for Julian Manu. So actually he gets the free selection of tyres if that's it's going to be a dry race, and that I believe is the final run. So Julian Manu, P11. So it is Hulkenberger. Bit of a surprise. Hulkenberger takes pole position. The Ferrari is mighty at this track, but even so, half a second quicker than Paulian, who's in a very impressive second in the Alfa Romeo. HDE in third in the Mercedes, so that's your top three. Aaron in a very decent P4, a much better qualifying session than he had at Circuit de Catalunya for the pre-season event in Spain, so he's definitely shaking off the rust by the looks of it. So let's go through your qualifying result then for round one of PSGL F1 experience. So Hulk takes pole position by half a second to Paudi, HDE in Mercedes, third Aaron P4, Game Freak at P5, Josh in P6, Jamie in P7, Big C in 8th. Well, that's an amazing row 4 if I must say so myself. 8 championship between there. QPR Beast in P9, Juho Finn P10, so he got it right in the end. Joliana Manu in P11, the rain champ. Mr. Grumby got up to P12, AMS in P13, 14th from Free Gloves, and then it is Cablo and Ashbest on the next row, Oogie Zim and Greeny the birthday boy in P18, and at the back of the grid it is the gruesome twosome of Flying Chrome and Blue Mosquito making up your grid. Well, that's pretty impressive stuff there. Quite an enjoyable qualifying session. You know, generally speaking, qualifying session to Britain not always that close because of the nature of the circuit. And it is a wet race. Oh, it is a wet race, ladies and gentlemen. Well, no one told me anything, but that's fine. I like surprises. So that would explain why some of the times were quite slow. So it is a wet race, but Ugyazim disconnected. Hopefully he was able to rejoin. Otherwise, we may have a restart. And you know, just some free advertisement for PSGL F120 coming soon. The leagues will return at some stage, and that will be something to see. And I will certainly be trying to get myself back in the leagues if possible, but there's going to be a lot of demand, I'm sure. So I think we are going to get a restart because Ugi Azim did disconnect, so that is unfortunate. So we will get a restarted sessions, but you know the grid will be as it is, so there will be a bit of a delay. So you know, if you have any questions to ask me, just put hashtag Ask Alimonda in the chat and ask whatever you like about Formula One, about life, and I will do my best to answer as best I can. Yeah, we can even do a quiz if it takes an hour to get this restart, but I don't think it will. I think it will take, you know, 10 minutes maybe at most. So I'm gonna quit out of multiplayer and perhaps share your thoughts on you know, F120 2020 as well, real life or virtual. Crap! I got really scared for a second. I thought I'd left the pre-stream music on, but I had muted it. Thank God. That would have been embarrassing. But yeah, I feel a lot less rusty doing this than I did at the pre-season, so I'm really glad I got to do that. So yeah, in terms of, you know, memories of PSGL, F1 of course, probably my most you know, notable stint as a commentator in PSGL. You know, 4 seasons of PSGL F1, and you know there were some really good races. But you know, I think it's quite fitting we're at Britain for round 1 because you know I saw one of the best races I've ever commentated on then, and you know there was an amazing battle between Cliffy and Ollie D for the race win. You know, just a magnificent battle. That was on F1 2017. And then Game of the Best and Big C were having an amazing scrap over P3 as well. It all went down to the final lap as well. So if you get a chance, check it out. I think the old stream's on my Gaming Alamonda channel somewhere. But it's season 19 or is it 18? No, season 18. The first season I did. The British Grand Prix of that season. Definitely worth checking out. That is one of my favourite races I've ever commentated on, actually. So I'm just going to see if I've got another invite yet. Yep, got another invite. So we're just reforming the grid. And I promise we didn't restart because it's raining. It's generally generally a disconnect that caused the issue. So with that to say, if you got any questions, please let them in. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think how quickly time goes. I mean, the first commentary I did for PSGL was way back in November of 2016, and that was... It makes me laugh looking at that because I didn't have any of the El Gato, I didn't have any of these sort of intros which I make myself. It sounds like I'm reading off a piece of paper. It's just like, hello, this is PSGL, round one. And I don't know, it just cracks me up when I look at it. And that race was actually, incidentally, it got called off because of this constant, really bad lag issues. So it was not exactly an ideal start. But you know, although I don't have time to do commentary full time anymore, it's some of my favourite gaming memories for sure. It's ditching FIFA forever and joining the sort of F1 racing community, and you know, I've never looked back, to be honest. I've enjoyed it way more than anything I ever did on FIFA. So pretty much all the drivers have rejoined the grid. So we will be getting underway again with the live stream of Formula Experience Round 1 at Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. But of course, I didn't start in PSGL F1. My first real full season was in Formula Performance, and luckily enough, we had an amazing title battle at Abu Dhabi, which was between Funhouse and Ugi Azim. You may remember Funhouse. He was, you know, I commentated with him a few times as well because he was a PSGL F1 commentator for a little bit as well, and you know, I really enjoyed working with him. So hopefully, whatever he's doing, he's all good. Question then from Fish, who will get the Renault seat in real life? Well, I have to, yeah, I mean, you know, if they're going to go for experience, they might as well get Hulk back in the seat, but I think they might go for one of the Renault Academy drivers currently in F2, so maybe Jan-Hu Zhou, maybe Lundgaard is a possibility as well. The thing is, with the Formula 2 and F3 seasons kind of demolished this season, they probably won't happen. I don't think it would really be responsible, to be honest, to put an F2 driver into a Formula 1 seat at the moment if they've not raced at all this season. I don't think that's really possible. I think they have to assess the F2 grid based on actually racing, so they have to be racing again. I think for any of them to have a possibility to get an F1 seat. So really, on that basis, Hulkenberg, even I called him Hulkenberger, didn't I? Hulkenberg, I should say, is the logical choice to put back into that seat. You know, he's experienced, he knows the team. You know what you'll get from him. He'll give you solid results. He'll come close to a podium. He'll crash with 2 laps to go. You know what you'll get with Hulkenberg. So I think he's given how much chaos this has caused Formula 1, I think that's going to be a solid choice. I mean, there are some other drivers. You know, some people said Alonso could get a seat at Renault, but would Alonso really come back for a Renault seat, a mid-table seat? I mean, he did four seasons of that at McLaren, so I don't see that. Really, I don't think Alonso will ever come back. I don't think he should come back. I think he's done. I think he had a great Formula 1 career. It could have been a legendary career if he'd made the right career choices, but I just don't think he burned too many bridges. And I think you know, with the likes of Leclerc, Gasly, Albon, Russell, people like that, I think it is really a changing of the guard. That's what's happening right now in Formula 1. We're getting a new generation of drivers. I think Alonso is an icon of Formula 1's past, to be honest. I don't think he should get a seat. Would I like to see him back in Formula 1? Of course. But I think if I'm a team principal, I'm thinking, looking at someone who's going to be a team player. Yeah, similar. F1 2016 was probably my favourite seasons of racing, in terms of the games. So I definitely miss F1 20. Oh, hey Owen, the the current PSGL F1 commentator, who did a great job, I must say, this season. What was a pretty excellent season, won by Jan Opma, of course. And we are about to get underway once again, and this time we're going straight to race. I don't think qualifying is being done again. I think it is just going to go straight into the 26 lap race here at Silverstone. Yeah, we've had qualifying already, Cherry Tupai. Hulkenberg got pole position, but I'll go through the full grid again for those of you who have just joined. And we got Jack Tyler, the new F5 champion, in the chat. Congratulations again for that. It's loading up now. Let's just give that a little retweet. Yeah, we're still in the loading screen, Fish. So I'm not going to bother loading that back up again until we actually see the grid, because I just don't like loading screens these days. I'm just so used to like not having any loading screens. But it is there hasn't actually been too many real wet Silverstone races recently. Was 2008 the last one when Hamilton won it? I don't remember a wet British Grand Prix. I remember some wet sessions. That one where Alonso famously got P1 in practice. That was a wet session, but I don't think the actual race was. That was 2018, I think, where they had that amazing duel between the McLarens and Mercedes. Mercedes and Ferrari, I should say. Right, so here we go then. As you can see, it is bucketing it down here at Silverstone. So it's going to be wet conditions. That's going to favour some of the drivers. You could say the more experienced driver, but they're all experienced. They've all driven in conditions like this before. There's probably 1,000 PSGL races between this grid at least. So that just shows you how experienced this grid is. We are going to get a formation lap. Yep, we are going to get a formation lap, so we can go through the full grid and, of course, the tyre choices. And it's going to be full wets then for the grid to start. So your grid then for this particular race is Hulkenberg with Paudi alongside him in the Alfa Romeo. So it's an all-Italian car front row, HDE and Iran on row 2. Then we have Game Freaker and Josh on row 3. Then we have Jamie and Bixie, 8 PSGL F1 championships between them on row 4. QPR Beast and Juho Finn on row 5. And then the reigning, defending, undisputed Formula Experience champion Joliana Manu on P11. And then Mr. Grumpy in P12. And then on row 7 we have AMS and Free Gloves. Plenty of former PSGL F1 race winners. Cablo and Ash Best, the Season 19 PSGL F1 champion, one of the closest PSGL F1 finish in history, where Ashbest won the championship on win countback. It was level on points, no points difference at all when he won the championship. Ugi Azim and Flying Chrome, 17th and 18th, and then at the back of the grid, it is the birthday boy, Greeny LLC in the Rocket Williams, and he'll be hoping that does have a rocket strapped to the back of it so he can make a few positions. Well, he did in the pre-season race. He went from the back of the grid to P7, so he would be absolutely delighted if he got a result like that again. And then Blue Mosquito had a throttle problem with his wheels setup, and he got disqualified because he was stuck on the track. And he'll start back with the Red Bull, particularly good in these tricky wet conditions. So if Blue Mosquito can avoid any sort of damage early on, he could make some decent... Oh, big slide through Beckett's there. We're hoping not from any of that through the race. So Hulkenberg, this is a zero to hero stuff. I mean, he had an absolutely dreadful pre-season event, but he's really used the lockdown to his advantage. And some might say that Nico Hulkenberg himself has taken over the car, which is why he's suddenly driving a lot better. But Hulkenberg, very experienced. And Paudi, well, he fancies being in pole position apparently, because he's just overtaken him. Perhaps a little bit of practice for lap 1 to make a lunge down at the Vale. We shall see. But here we go then. The grid forming up here for 26 laps. Now, not sure of the weather conditions, whether it's going to improve or it's going to be like this the whole race. But either way, it doesn't matter if it's dry or wet. It's going to be a one-stop race. Safety cars, well, less of a possibility here because there are big runoffs. Unusual to see someone actually crash out here. you know, cops sometimes. Here we go then. Who has the experience then to get the job done here? Hulkenberg, this is the view from around. Here we go then. So here we go. The 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and we are ready to get underway for experience racing here at Silverstone. And it's a decent start from Hulkenberg with Pauli just behind. And I think the top 4 is as you were, but look at the McLaren. It is the McLaren of Josh challenging Aaron on the outside, but manages to stay ahead for the time being. And yeah, Josh has run. Look at that. Right behind him. And Aaron's going to be under threat just behind him. It's going to go through the loop, but Aaron will have better traction. There is better grip on the racing line on the outside there, so that should be good enough. No yellow flags so far, so it looks all dandy as they go through. Oh, and I say that, and what I spoke way too soon. Oh, it's a big crash. Juliana Manu and Mr. Grumpy are out of the race. Oh, dearie me, what has happened there? It's a massive shunt. It's a safety car straight away. Both Red Bulls are out. Juliana Manu is out. 3 retirements. Not even 1 sector into the race. And yeah, commentator's curse struck big time there. And it's a 5-second penalty. Greeny LFC for ignoring the yellow flags. Wow, dramatic scenes. I'm not sure what caused that. I saw a Mercedes spinning and then a bunch of other cars got collected. But Juliana Manu, a disastrous start for his title defence. He is out already. So despite all that experience, it was a typical lap 1 incident here at Silverstone. You know, they get all bunched up into the loop, and then as they accelerate on, but perhaps some of them, you know, just struggling for grip, cold tyres. And yes, yeah, I do have an incredible ability of causing incidents before they happen. I have a bad commentator's curse, but it's, I guess for the viewing public, it's quite entertaining. So is anyone going to pit? Well, no one's going to pit unless they've got damage. Let's see if anyone down the field got damaged. I think Ashbest might have a bit of damage. We're about to find out. See if anyone else has damage. So Big C has actually dropped to 9th behind QPR Beast, his teammate actually in Formula Performance as well. So they all made the start, and yeah, several drivers coming in for pit stops. Oh my god, 6 drivers coming in for pit stops. So AMS, Greeny, Flying Throne, Oogie Azim, Cablo and Ashbest. The Sinister 6 coming in for wing changes, and it's a double stack of Renault. Oh, Oogie Azim and AMS, they've had a nightmare for lap 1. Yeah. Yeah, I did say safety car was unlikely, but in theory, the runoff areas are massive here. So you don't normally see safety cars early on. But what do I know? I haven't been retiring all the time. And yeah, well, some angry team radio. Blue Mosquito disqualified for qualifying, and then out on within a few corners. So it's been not a race to forget. But there's always next week. That's the beauty of a championship. If you have a nightmare race, you can make up for it the next time. So let's have a look then at the winners and losers then from that fast and furious opening, shall we say. Greeny FC, despite making a pit stop, has actually gained 6 places, helped by the retirements, of course. Dale giving the most instant post-race reaction ever seen. Eat your heart out, Sky Sports. According to him, the Renault of AMS lost it, then Johnny Anamu hit him, and then he slid into the Red Bull, which I'm guessing collected Blue Mosquito and Mr. Grumpy, and his wheel got knocked off. So yeah, that is certainly an incident which will make Mr. Grumpy very grumpy indeed. So 4 positions gained for Free Gloves, so a decent start from the McLaren driver. So it was Game Freaker challenging Iran on lap 1, but in the end he lost out to Josh, so he's lost the place, but the top 4 as you were. As Pixie takes a 10-second time penalty. Oh my goodness. How's he done that under the safety car? It must have run wide after Stowe. It must have been an accidental locking of the brakes somewhere, but Big C, who won the pre-season race at an absolute canter. Yeah, I did see a Mercedes going off first, or something happening to a Mercedes. So I wonder if there was contact. Well, AMS confirming there was contact, so that must have been the trigger for that. Luckily, with the safety car, of course, everyone can catch up again. So it's kind of a reset of the race here. So no dramas for Hulkenberg at the front, making the exact start that he wants. Now, Paudy will be pretty happy with that. So then, your race order as the safety car goes through for a third time. Well, the second lap safety car, it may come in this lap, is Hulkenberg, Paudy, HDE, Iran, Josh, Game Freaker, Jamie, QBR Beast, Big C and Free Glass making up in the top 10. And we've had plenty of pit stops if you've just joined us. We had a restart, that's why this session's gone a little bit later than usual. And it is 6 drivers who have made a pit stop. So let's see if this safety car will go on board with Hulkenberger, because we can get a nice view of whether the safety car, still yellow flag is out there, but let's have a look and see if these yellow lights will Bernd Meinlander driving the safety car. Will he peel off back into the pit lane? Sometimes at Silverstone the safety car comes in very late here. We're going to cross the line for the end of sector 2 now. Will those lights go off? No. Let's see if they go off late. So we may have another lap under the safety car. There was a lot of debris to be cleared up. There was a massive incident, probably involving at least 5 or 6 cars. No safety cars in the lap, so that is very last minute. So Hulkenberg's not going to have a lot of time to think about it. He's going to out away, but the traction on that Ferrari is superior to the Alfa Romeo, so he's got a fair chance of getting away. Let's see then. Let's see if we can go another lap without a safety car. I'm not going to mention that safety cars are unlikely. Giovinazzi picks up a 5-second penalty. Roy Williams started again, and they're bolted the top 2. HDE caught a little bit napping, as we said, 1.7 seconds behind. He's not under pressure from anyone. Iran's been caught napping as well, so Iran's actually under pressure from Josh and Game Freak are just behind. And yeah, looks pretty solid. A fast lap of 156 flat, but that's going to be smashed once they get back up to full racing speed at the end of this lap. So HDE. So in terms of the gap, Iran is quite close. So yeah, HDE was really caught off guard by the Hulkenberg and Paudy's timing of their restarts, so he's really lost out there. And he could be under pressure from Iran very soon. This Game Freak has a quick look at Josh just behind. Anything else going on? AMS having a look maybe at Juhovin. Juhovin goes very deep. Juhovin, of course, runs no assist, but a lot of the drivers do, to be fair. Now, this is interesting. Paudy is getting very close to the back of that Ferrari, so we may see a battle for the lead. They've got a 2.3 second gap to third place man HDEE. So I think Paudy is looking pretty good on the pace. We have seen some impressive performances over the years from Paudy in PSGL. A former Race of Champions winner, of course, which I commentated on eons ago, it seems like now. Now, just behind, Josh is right behind Iran, so he's getting over it. No DRS, of course. Ooh, bit of oversteer from Iran there, and that may put him into the clutches of Josh. Racing Point's got good straight line speed, but Iran does get the slipstream from the Mercedes ahead, so that should help him pull away, and a good straight line speed from the Ferrari engine on that house as well. And just behind that, side by side, goes Juhovin and AMS. Can AMS think about moving it? Yes, he's going to go late on the brakes. Can he get around the outside? We're going to go on board of him. Yeah, they're still side by side. We should see a Renault going down the inside. It's going to give him space. Yes, he is. Oh, still side by side. This is a great battle between the two. And he completes the move. Ugi seems disconnected. He's rejoined again. So now Juhovin may be about to be under pressure. Also from Greeny LFC, who has a time penalty. He may have served it in the pit lane, but I think if I remember, not allowed to actually. Oh, Juhovin has made an absolute mess of Abbey Corner, and he's lost 3 positions now. Make that 4. Cablo just sneaking through as well. Let's have a look at Iran. Iran's now right on the back of HDE. Mercedes versus Haas, a battle you would never have seen in the 2019 season unless the Mercedes was missing its wing. Here comes Iran then down the inside, and that is as comfortable a move as you can get. He's done thousands of such moves at this track over the years. Up to third goes the experienced Iran, 3-time PSGL F1 champion. I think HDE, similar to his Mercedes team, my goodness, Juhovin's now slipped all the way down to 16th. He's had an absolute shocker of a lap. So Josh and Game Freak, they'll be keeping a watching brief with the Alfa Romeo of Jamie just behind, and QBR Beast and Big C in the Toro Rosso. So just a reminder again, this is a performance league. So all the drivers are using the 2019 car performance here at their disposal. which in the case of some cars is great, and in the case of others is not so great. But HD not taking the best advantage of Williams, struggling a little bit on his setup. And Sector 2, oh, and Duo Finn is off. We're not going to go to him though, just for a moment though, because here comes Josh trying to make a move on the outside. One racing point is out, but the other racing point is looking still good in the fight. And just behind him, Jamie making a move on, trying to make a move on Game Freaker. Is that QPR Beast? Yeah, QPR Beast was thinking about slipping down the inside. Howdy and Hulkenberg staging fastest laps. So HDE keeping ahead for the time being. And Aaron's already 1.3 seconds ahead of the Mercedes, so HDE really holding up these drivers. As we enter lap 6, another 20 to go here. And Josh is all over the back of the Mercedes. Oh my goodness. Slight wide. Look at QPR Beast down the inside of Jamie. Can he get the move done? Jamie will have the inside for the next part of the loop at turn 3. And he maintains the position. And this is quite a HD train. 8K indeed. But here comes Game Freak. As Game Freak's got a better run out of the following corner. Can he get anywhere near him? No. And now Big C has got ahead of QPR Beast. Was that a little bit of team orders? They are actual teammates in this Performance League as well. So maybe there was a bit of going on there. Powdy's only half a second off Hulkenberg. That's a battle we need to keep an eye on. So let's have a look just up ahead. It is HD, Josh, Game Freaker, Jamie, Big C, and QPR Beast AMS. It's a big train. It's from 4th place all the way down to P14 Cablo. So this is a mighty train. But it's not a DRS train, it's a traditional train, where a little bit more skill needs to be involved. You just get the sense if HD gets a poor exit out of Chapel, Josh will have him for breakfast. Lawrence Stroll looking on, willing his car to get ahead. Up to Stowe they go for the 6th time, but no, HDE, to be fair, the performance of that Mercedes on Hangar Straight, satisfactory indeed. Keeping ahead, Hulkenberg still leading from Powdy. Aaron now 2 seconds ahead of the Mercedes, so he's in a fine, solid 3rd at the moment. As Hulkenberg sets the fast lap of the race, trying to get away from that Alfa Romeo. Like a bad rash, Powdy is right on his skin, not letting him get out of it at all, as Flying Prone picks up a time penalty. And if you expected some shock in my voice, well, you know, Flying Throne, that's his trademark, along with race wins and championships, is to get the odd time penalty. And now, again, Josh just cannot get past this Mercedes. They've got the same engine, of course, so there's no performance difference in terms of the engine, so it's going to come down to the downforce that they're running. And here comes Jamie then, Game Freaker getting a poor exit, perhaps getting a bit of the wake of the racing point ahead. Can Jamie go around the outside? It's difficult to go around the outside here in the dry, let alone in the wet. And yeah, he's just going to have to keep behind him. HDE really is the cork in the proverbial bottle at the moment. You just know that if he gets overtaken, he's probably going to drop like a stone down the field. Until someone gets past that Mercedes, I think it's going to be as you were. But look at this. Game Freak, half think about Sector 2. We've got yellow. Oh, it's a Williams off. It's Greeny LFC. Oh, the birthday boy. It is not. It is off halfway down towards Cops after Woodcote. So it may have come into contact with someone, but we didn't really see what happened. And it's a safety car again. A safety car for that. Oh, goodness. And something's happened to Powdy, unless that was just slowing down for the Delta, because he's now 2.6 seconds. All of that's going to be wiped out, of course. The second safety car of the race, Greeny LFC, well, he'll get a reprieve of that incident. I think someone was a little bit too quickly. TRR Limits would have absolutely gone berserk for that safety car, because it appeared to have come out for no real reason. And, well, I think Josh overtook HDE under the safety car, but then, yeah, he let him back pass. And, oh, pit stops then. QPR Beast and Free Gloves. Is this for a wing change? Oogie Zim as well. Let's have a look then. There's nothing else going on at the moment, so let's see what their pit stops. A bit of thrilling pit stop action. What's it going to be? Is it a wing change for QPR Beast? Let's have a look. No, it's a tyre change. Wet tyres for him. All wet tyres still. So that's interesting. Oh, look at that. Yeah, Green FC is taking his time penalty. Now that's actually a really smart decision. And he's getting a new wing as well. So, you know, with a safety car, Greeny can't say he's not out of this just yet. So we'll go back onto track because Hulkenberger, he's had one safety car restart. He's now going to have to deal with another one, but he's still in the lead. He's led every lap of this race so far. He's having an absolutely splendid day. And given that Hulkenberger is a Sunderland fan, he is thoroughly thrashing his Newcastle supporting teammate Cablo in P11, so he'll be definitely taking the Northeast bragging rights at the moment. And certainly will be now, because Cablo has now got a 10-second time penalty. What are they doing extending the track limits at safety car speeds? This is very strange. Don't know if there's a glitch going on somewhere. So likes of QPR Beast, Free Gloves, Uvi Azim, Geofin and Greeny LFC, they've made a second pit stop. You would think Greeny will make short work. But yeah, I mean, those who stopped for an Arcea wets, I mean, the wets go very deep into this race. I mean, in terms of a puncher, I don't think it's actually possible to puncture them. I think you lose performance if you do a full race with them. So, you know, the likes of, you know, they could get an advantage out of this speed-wise if they stay out of trouble. But who knows? We've had 2 safety cars and we haven't even had half the race yet, so we could get yet more here. So, as with this safety car bit, let's have a quick look at the penalties situation in the top 5. Hulkenberger has 1 warning, Powdy has no warnings, Iran has no warnings, HD has no warnings, and Josh has no warnings. So top 5 keeping it clean so far. That's the secret. As Cablo picks up another time penalty. At this rate, he will not get on the flight to Canada. He'll have so many time penalties, and that is incidentally where we will be next week for round 2 of Formula Experience Season 2. And Jody Alamanu, the reigning champion, he has apparently stormed out of a press conference. He was so outraged by that lap 1 incident that he has refused to speak to the media. He's called them all fake news. Wow, it looks like Donald Trump has entered the chat. So Hulkenberger ahead of Powdy, Iran, HD and Josh. Well, the only change of position in the top 5 from the start was actually Josh taking Game Freak on the first lap. You just get the sense that Iran will be pretty pleased with this because he struggled a bit in the opening lap to get past HG. Then he blasted away from him easily. Now he's got an opportunity to get into this fight for the lead. He's battled Powdy in the past. He's familiar with him. Hulkenberger, of course, doing his run to the F4 Championship. He's very familiar with him. So I think Iran's in the fight with this now. Because there was kind of a gap, but in terms of the lap times he was doing similar lap times to Powdy and Hulkenberger. The gap wasn't really changing, but now that gap's been wiped. He's now in the position now where if Powdy or Hulkenberger make a mistake on the restart, he may have a chance to get another step on the podium. And Greeny NFC has pitted again for the intermediates. Oh, I tell you what. But will the safety car come in last minute again? If it doesn't, then Greeny LFC. But even with that though, he may have the gap. I feel it is stacking up. Is it going to be? It's another lap for the safety car. So Greeny LFC is gambling, ladies and gentlemen. So he is on the intermediates. Well, if we go on board, there is a lot of spray, I have to say, but he's certainly giving it full welly around the corners, so it's, I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see what kind of performance those intermediates have. Of course, you just don't know until you go at full racing speed how they compare, but if Greeny FC does this and everyone else has to pit because the wet tyre conditions change and there's not enough safety car, then Greeny FC, I mean, he had nothing to lose, did he? He took his penalty and, he thought, you know what, let's give it a go, see what happens. It's, the Williams is a dreadful car, so any advantage he can get is going to be highly beneficial to the birthday boy. And can you imagine? I mean, there's not much social distancing going on in the crowd. It's a full crowd here today, so clearly everyone is desperate to see any sort of Formula One, even if it's a virtual race. And it's good to see a few more viewers for this week's race. Pre-season race, of course. There's never going to be really anyone watching that because it was more about shaking off for us. But it was a decent race. I have to admit, it was a decent race to watch. So it's worth checking out. There were some great midfield battles as well. So yeah, I mean, apart from the lap 1 incident. And we haven't seen 2 minutes. We saw Juho spin as well. Greeny spinning out around where he is actually now, halfway between Woodcote and Copse. And that brought out a second safety car at the moment. It's funny that, you know, you couldn't pay Bert Meilenlander enough money to get him to come out for safety car, but now you don't even have to wave $1 at him. He's out every 5 minutes, it seems. And the safety car is indeed in this lap, so we're going to go our second restart of the race. And these two are going to just having a wee chat before the restart. I assume, yeah, Flying Throne was in P10. So Pauli and Hulkenberger had superb restarts. And they'll be looking to do that again. And look at that, Iran is very keen to get going. And Hulkenberger, he's not messing about, he's just gone. And why the hell not? So will we see any change in position behind? We have seen HDE, of course, struggling. Here comes Iran then. No, really good traction from the Alfa Romeo. And yellow flags, and we are underway racing again. Lap 11 here of this British Grand Prix Formula Experience event Season 2. Hulkenberger, Pauli, and Iran, your top three. Can Josh has got to go for a move surely on the Mercedes. Yes, he is. He's going for a move. Oh, but he didn't have the confidence on the brakes in these wet conditions. Keep an eye on Greeny LFC, though, because he's on the intermediates, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen. So it'll be key to... Oh, and a contact between Josh and Game Freaker. That was an ill-advised move. That gives HD some breathing space. We get a really nice camera view. Look at Jamie and Game Freaker behind. Can Jamie look for a move around the outside? No, not for the time being. So difficult to go around the outside. And the Game Freaker really nicely. We're off, and look just behind there. Look at that Ash Best and keep our beasts going wheel to wheel. Keep our beast stays ahead of him. Keep our beast had a bit of a poor restart. Wasn't able to get it back ahead of Caplo. Fair play to HDE. He was struggling in that train previously, but now he is sort of back in fight. Greeny FC's dropped 1.8 seconds off Juho already, so it seems like the intermediate is not quite the right tyre at the moment. So now Josh trying to chase down that Mercedes again. You can see right on the back of his old sparring partner Jamie, former teammates and championship riders in PSGL F1. Can Vixie make a move? He's going to go for a... No, he didn't quite have the position to go for a move there. Any other moves going on behind? No. Look at Vixie again. No moves at the moment. It's very tricky to overtake in the wet. You have to have supreme confidence in yourself to go for a move and hope for some compliance from your rival. Now, Juliana Manu has finally spoken to the press after he's calmed down, and he is, to say the least, not too happy, but he's still got 5 more races to salvage his championship defence bid. Plenty of time to go in this one. Lots of unexpected twists and turns to come, I'm sure. HDE now falling back into the clutches of the squabbling train behind him. Keep our beasts has overtaken, actually, Cablo, and Cablo's now under threat from Ash Best. Can Ash Best go late on the brakes on the outside? No. Once again, it's going to try and get the minor switchback, but yeah, Cablo just nicely places the car. No possible chance of an overtake. HD still ahead of this train. You get the sense the Mercedes performance is kind of saving him. It looks like the allocation is totally correct for him because, oh my goodness, look how much the car squirms. 3.3 seconds now. Greeny is behind Juho. So, you know, if the conditions get better in the next few laps, it may still save him because he still has that big pit. Because again, it's such a huge pit stop gap here. So here comes Josh again. Can Josh get anywhere near the back of that Mercedes? Same engine, it does make it very difficult. What about Big C? No, still. Well, let's have a look at Free Gloves. Free Gloves and the McLaren of Free Gloves trying to go around the outside of the Williams. Williams versus McLaren, a battle of F1's past, definitely not present, actually in the case of the Williams. And then Free Gloves once again, half a move, but Ashbeth had that well covered on the inside. So Hulkenberg and Pauli, Iran not able to challenge. He's in sort of no man's land really. He's in a comfortable third. He'd be delighted with that, I think, either way, because I think the Haas is inferior to the Alfa Romeo, and of course is certainly inferior to the Ferrari. Surely, Josh has got to think about a dive here because this is destroying his race. Any chance of a podium is going to be lost if he keeps getting stuck behind this particular roadblock that is Valtteri Bottas, I mean HDEE. Game Freak just behind Jamie, Big C. It's a big train. It goes all the way down to P11 now. Capello kind of slipping away from the top 11. He's got Ashbest free gloves to worry about. Ugi's in P15. And yeah, Greeny still struggling on those inters. So I think the gamble has not paid off. I think it was worth going for. He had nothing to lose really at that point. And if he gets another safety car, all the weather conditions, but yeah, the rain is still coming down in very typical British summer fashion. Now this looks really good. A really nice sequence of corners here. A good exit for Chapel. This has got to be the attempt. He's got to go for it. Let's have a look at the telemetry. Yeah, he's gone full attack. HD's got it on full defence. So again, he's still, and look at that behind Jamie, looking for a move around the outside. Again, Free Gate's going to soar around the outside. Can the Alfa Romeo get the move done? He's still on the track. The Game Freak gets better traction, but Jamie will have the inside for the Vale. Goes hard on the brakes, but Game Freak gets superb defending, it has to be said. And behind them, Flying Throne and QPR Beast going wheel to wheel, and QPR Beast now back into the top 10. So really good run there. So back into the battle for P4. Is that Big C looking for a move on Jamie? It looked like he was thinking about it. And look at that, Jamie looking for a move down the inside of the loop on Game Freaker. He's going to try and squeeze him out to the outside, but there's more grip on the racing line on the outside. But Jamie's going to get the move done. Can Big C follow through on Game Freaker? These are all former PSGL F1 drivers. And walk out for AMS. Gaggle former PSGL F1 drivers here. And look at AMS trying to dive down the outside of the Game Freaker. Game Freaker, the Belgian, is getting absolutely mugged here through this section of corners, through Luffield. They go side by side. The inside part of the corner will favour Game Freaker. But can AMS get onto the power and then power down Woodcote on the old start finish straight? Maybe get a move done to Cops. That'd be very daring in the wet. It's daring enough in the dry. Can AMS get a move done? Keep our Beast keeping a watching brief just behind him. Oh my goodness, he runs way wide. Keep RB will go right on board with him, and yeah, still pretty close, but yeah, they have cleared him. So Big C and Jamie now ahead of Game Freak, and maybe Jamie and Big C will be the ones to break the stalemate of this HD train in 8K vision, because HD's been 5 seconds now behind, and of course the pit stop is so long here, it's very unlikely we're going to see a pit stop gap here at any stage. But here we go then, side by side, free gloves, the Renault engine versus Mercedes power of the Williams. The inside of Stowe, Ashbest will probably crowd him out. But no, Free Gloves has really stayed committed. He'll have the inside for the Vale. Ashbest goes late on the brakes to try and defend it, but no, Free Gloves takes the position. Up to P13 he goes. Superb stuff from the McLaren driver. Now he can get after Capello, maybe get his way up to the top 10. So Josh has got something to think about here, because Jamie and Big C, they've now cleared Game Freaker, and look at the difference already. Nearly 6 tenths. Here comes Big C then, looking for half a move on Jamie. No, it's more than half a move. They're going to go side by side into the loop, similar to what we saw last lap. Jamie had the inside that time, but Big C getting superb traction. We got yellow in sector 1. It is Ugi Azim who's off, and Big C powers past his fellow former PSGL F1 champion. But Jamie's going to try and come back. No DRS, of course. Will he go for a move? Oh, Big C goes very deep into the corner, but he'll have the inside for Luffield, and he should maintain the position. So Big C moves up to P6. The former 7-time champion is on the march, ladies and gentlemen, here at Silverstone in Formula Experience. He won the pre-season race. He wants to win here as well. He's got a lot of time to catch up to Paudi and Hulkenberg, who are having superb races, serenely out there, the top two. Big C up to P6, and now Big C will want to clear the racing point. So HDE, he's managed to hold off Josh lap after lap, but if Big C and Jamie at least can get past the racing point, you get the sense that it's going to be a much more enormous challenge to keep Big C and Jamie behind him. 8 PSGL F1 championships between the two. Look at this train. What a shot that is. Massive train there in the background. Flying Throne having half a look at QPR Beast. QPR Beast lunges down the inside of AMS. Oh, they nearly touch. AMS slams the door firmly in his face. He's going to cover the inside, but look at that. Late on the brakes. It's extraordinarily late. slight wheel banging between the two. AMS is not having any of that. He's going to maintain the position on the outside. Yes, great traction from the Renault and maintains the position for the time being. Flying Throne still in P11, free gloves in P12, Caplo in P13. Unless there's a safety car, I don't think there'll be a need for any of these drivers to pit again, but perhaps even with a safety car, because in terms of tyre wear, these tyres will go to the end even from the start. But again, those drivers who did an extra pit stop, you know, likes QPR Beast. Look at QPR Beast. He's only done 8 laps on those wets, so that could really play into his hands later on. We will wait and see. But here comes Big C then. He may have half a machine. Would he go for a late lunge here? Onto the inside? No. Oh, and Josh goes on a late lunge on HD. He's had enough of that Mercedes. He's whacked into the side of him. And Toto Wolff, well, he was not impressed by that move. Sergio Perez style move from his year at McLaren in 2013. But and all of that has really cost Josh big time, because Big C is now up to P5. So it wasn't really a clever move in the end. It didn't really look on. And Big C says, thank you very much. And now, wait, my goodness, 6.6 seconds now. This HD train is behind. It's unbelievable, really. But it would be so typical of the man if Big C just overtakes HD straight away. And I think he will. Because look at this. Look at the straight line speed he's got already. He's got the car set up better. But HD, the Mercedes straight line speed did kick in there, and that gave him a chance there. I thought he was going to go straight past him, but he didn't in the end, to be fair. And just behind, look at that once again. Round the outside. Oh, contact made. Can AMS come back at him? No. QPR Beast now up to P9. There's so many, a lot of thrilling action here, but you've got to give Paudi credit, all the credit in the world, because he's up against a much better car, the Ferrari. But he's showing his quality, all his experience here. Hulkenberger, he's no slow slouch himself, and he's had many races in PSGL, but he's doing a magnificent job keeping up this Ferrari, because the Ferrari, you know, this is one of its strongest tracks in the game, in my opinion. And he's keeping himself in contention. Whoever can keep their tyres in good shape will be in good nick at the end. Now here comes Big C then. He's got a superb run out of the loop. He's going to look for a move down. At the end of this corner, HC will try and cover the inside. Big C locks the... Oh, contact! Josh has hit the back of Big C, and he's collected Jamie as well. Oh, Jamie, what's he done? Oh, sorry, Josh. I think Josh... It must have been Josh, the Racing Point. Oh, they're all getting past. Oh, that was chaos. Something out of an F3 race, that. Oh. And HD survives again. It looked like Big C was about to overtake him, but he's been absolutely relieved. And Throne going down the inside of AMS at Cops. That's ballsy. But AMS maintains position. 3 gloves. I think Big C's got damage on the left side. Josh certainly will do. Because he fair whack to the side of that Toro. There might be radiator damage, but the, you know... And now Game Freaker all of a sudden finds himself in the position to break the HD train, which is 1 second ahead. But yeah, I mean, that's the second big incident we've had in the race. Yeah, Big C just suddenly saw him squirming on the steering wheel, suddenly hit. That must have been a fair bit of vibration through the steering wheel when that hit, and Joe Vink gets a 10-second time penalty. So the battle for 4th rumbles on. I mean, the top 3 looks pretty set now because of this hold-up that HD's done. He's doing, you know, he's doing a superb job, and he's only just recently come back. Game Freaker dives down the inside. Can he finally get ahead of this Mercedes? HD will have the inside for the second part of the loop. More traction on the outside, as we've mentioned before, but HD is doing his best. But look at QPR Beast, and I think Game Freaker's going to get past him. Will QPR Beast get past him? Oh, he's gone a mile wide. Slightly illegal. Yeah, he gives it back. Fair play to him. And Game Freaker gets ahead of him. The train has been broken. It has been dethroned. So Game Freaker is now, he'll be hoping he can get away from this and solidify his 4th place. And in the pit lane, Big C coming out on a new set of wets. Jamie as well. And Josh, yeah, all had wing damage. These 3 drivers were in contention, possibly for a podium. But not anymore. Unless there's another safety car, of course. But it is a chaotic British Grand Prix here. We had 3 retirements on the first lap. A big incident coming out of the exit of the loop, which saw Blue Mosquito, Julian Renault and Mr. Grumpy all crashing out. QPR Beast slides past. Oh, he actually overtook through Maggots and Bacon. Well, that was an impressive move in itself. And now HD, I think his resistance has been broken. I think he's going to start dropping positions now. AMS, what do you think about a move to the inside? Flying frame right behind AMS. Two drivers very familiar with each other. And, oh, they're pitting. Pit stops then for HD, and so maybe these tyres aren't going as far as we thought. No penalties, thankfully. Free Gloves now trying to go around the outside of Flying Foam into Club Corner. What a move this will be, and he gets it done. Oh, that is magnificent from Free Gloves. Flying Foam will have doffed his proverbial cap to that, because that's a very brave move around the outside of Club Corner in these conditions. It's so easy to go onto the painted lines and lose complete control of the car. So Flying Foam now just ahead of Cablo. Greeny LFC still going on those intermediates. Is anyone else brave? Yeah, look, more drive. Ah, you see, now that's why. And look at that, Greeny has gained 9 seconds in HD, so they're all coming in for intermediates now. But, oh my goodness, I tell you what, it doesn't look like intermediates to me, based off that. Well, I think the best comparison we can have for this at the moment is Jamie and Big C, because look, Jamie's on the intermediates and Big C is on the wets. So it'd be interesting, you know, if Jamie starts getting away from Big C, then that would suggest that the intermediates are the right side. I have to admit, the rain is a lot less than it was earlier. It doesn't look like it's bucketing it down as much as it was. So we will see. But, you know, Greeny at FC, it has worked out for him, because that's put him, if everyone else has to pit, he'll be in a net 4th position as it stands. And 10 seconds ahead of HDE. Oh, with that, I tell you what, with that kind of undercut, he could even be threatening Iran here if they all come in. But, you know, I'm not sure they'll pit, because it's lap 20. Is it really worth pitting at this time? You lose so much time. You may as well just keep going. We can see him up to P10. I do think, you know, they might just stay out. But now, QPR Beast now, right behind. Right behind Game Freaker now. QPR Beast has had a mixed race, shall we say. Big C, oh, and Game Freaker gets all out of shape through the loop. Deep into the next corner. QPR Beast reading this perfectly. It's going to put the battery up to full whack. Surely it's an opportunity for it. He's actually running negative fuel at the moment. Not able to overtake Big C. Oh, Big C sets the fastest lap of the race. Would suggest that the intermediates perhaps are not performing that well. And here we go then. QPR Beast with Free Gloves keeping a watching brief, trying to get past Game Freaker. So Game Freaker is indeed the new driver of this proverbial train. Staggering 9.2 seconds behind Iran. And the QPR Beast is going to try and go round the outside of Cops. Is he actually going to get this done? Yes, he is. Oh my goodness, he had so much more confidence. I don't know if Game Freaker's picked up some damage somewhere. He just didn't seem to have any confidence to go into that corner. QPR Beast flying along, but he's got much fresher tyres, and that could make such a big difference in the closing laps. And the battle for lead is still going on. Hulkenberg and Powdy have been flawless. Iran as well, has to be said, just hasn't quite had the pace of Powdy and Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg, of course, helped by the Ferrari, but he's still getting the job done. Powdy will be trying to force a mistake from the Ferrari driver later on. So in terms of battles down the field, got one potentially developing. Let's have a look at the leaders though, because they are very close. We haven't seen much of them actually. They've been within a second of each other, apart from some of the safety car restarts, the entire race. A superb watch for those two. Well, the gap between Big C and Jamie, who are on two different tyre compounds, similar pace, it's kind of stabilised. If anything, Jamie's getting further away. So the sort of difference between the intermediates and the wets is negligible, which would suggest that there is no point pitting for inters at this stage, because the inters are not that much quicker in either respect. It seems like in Jamie's case at least he's got slightly quicker inter pace than the wet pace for Big C, but it's not enough really to justify pit stops. So some of those drivers who pitted didn't seem to much point. I mean, in Greeny's case, he had no choice. He had nothing to lose when he pitted, because he already had wing damage and had penalties which he needed to serve. we go then. Powdy pressuring Hulkenberger. We're in the closing stages then of Formula Experience Season 2, Round 1 here at Britain. And it looks like Josh has just overtaken to go up to P16. Let's go back down the field because it looks like there's a bit of a scramble developing here for P6. Here comes Flying Throne then. Can he go around the outside? Game Freaker will not be in the mood to be overtaken on the outside again, as we saw earlier on. Although that may be about him. Here we go, late on the brakes into the Vale. Oh, can Throne get it slowed down? Game Freaker will just places the car beautifully actually. Throne had nothing really. Aaron Pitts! Aaron Pitts then! Has he run out of tyre life? As indeed, it's intermediates. And now look at this, Powdy right on the back of Hulkenberg. He seems to have looked after his tyres a little bit better. The battle for the lead is on here at Silverstone. And can Powdy now go for a move down the inside? Oh, he has half a look, but not quite close enough. Aaron then pits. So are the intermediates finally quicker? But yes, look at that. Look at the gap between Jamie and Big C now. Suddenly the intermediates have really come into their position. And look at that, Greeny's now got ahead of Aaron. So Greeny, if everyone else has to pit now, he will be in a podium position, ladies and gentlemen. This is dramatic scenes here. But how much time are the drivers on the wets going to lose in the closing laps? Is it going to be enough for those on the intermediates to catch up and gain positions? We haven't got many laps now. It's a long lap here at Silverstone, of course. As Big C picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's got AMS all over the back of him. Have a brief look at him, actually. Yep, look at that. Oh my goodness, AMS having to fight for control of the car. It's Jamie and HDE. They go to battle. Jamie round the outside of HDE to get up into P12. AMS still on the back. The wet tyres don't look very good at the moment, do they? Big C doesn't seem to have a lot of gap. It's very 0 to 0 stuff here. Here comes AMS then, the battle for a lowly P14. All for pride here. Can AMS go for a move around the outside of Big C? Oh, Big C's going to squeeze him off at Cops. They're going to go wheel banging a little bit. This could all end in tears. Hopefully it doesn't. We've had a couple of big incidents already. We don't want to see any more. But yeah, look at that Greeny LFC. He's rapidly catching Ash Best. He's taking 2 seconds out of him on this previous lap. But is he going to run out of laps, really? So I don't think anyone else is going to pit now. It's no point. Not enough laps. Iran is on the back of Greeny. Yes, I think both of those drivers. And round the outside goes AMS, but obviously the tyre grip Big C had available just gave him little chance of defending, really. So AMS moves up to P14, but look, we've got to keep an eye on this. Look at that, 1:43.505. How does that compare? So 1:43.505 for Jamie, that is over 1.3 seconds faster than Hulkenberger's best time in the lead. So that just gives you a comparison of how quick the Inters are now. The Inters are definitely the tyre to be on. But that sort of delta is not going to be enough really to gain them much. But Greeny LFC, at the pace he's going, he's going to catch. He's definitely 100% going to catch Ash Best at least in the Williams. And it's dragging Aaron along with him. As Free Gloves has left the session. Oh no, he's disconnected. Oh, that is such a shame. What a shame. He's had such a good race. Let's look at the battle then for what would be the final championship point. Aaron, 3-time PSGL F1 champion versus Greeny, a former PSGL F1 driver and podium winner. Howdy still doing his best to get ahead of him, but keep your peace. He's got 15 lap old tyres compared to 23 laps, so he's going to have it on. Here comes Aaron then. He's got the Ferrari power unit and blasts past that Williams. Williams just poor area it's got, just didn't have the traction coming out of Chapel to really give him a chance of defending that. So Aaron, 4.3 seconds now. They're really taking chunk after chunk of time out of Ash Best. Let's have a look at Powdy. Powdy's been staring at the Scarlet Ferrari, the rear of it all day. 1:42.889 now. My goodness. Aaron's going to be on the back of Ash Best by the end of this lap at this rate. Jamie with a 1:42 flat. So that is, my goodness, that is 2.8 seconds faster than Hulkenberger's fastest time. And he was setting fastest laps early in the race. And of course, Game Freak's going to get past the ghosted Free Gloves. He can't rejoin, of course. It'll be an instant DQ because of the old glitch. So Powdy then, we're going to keep an eye. This is the battle for lead. 2.5 laps to go here through Magus, Beckes and Chapel. They'll have to navigate this 2 more times. But Hulkenberger and Powdy, neither of these 2 drivers have penalties. So this is going to line. And look at Irons now right on the back of Asbest. And it looks like to me the wet tyre is not the one to be on now. Big C is pitted for the intermediates. He's going to finish in P17. So that decision to pit for the wet tyre has been a completely wrong one for Big C. That is without a doubt. Let's have a look at Flying Throne then. Flying Throne chasing down Frigas, but I mean, look at this. Irin is right on the back of Asbest. Can Flying Throne go around the outside? Gonna just brief look at Irin, because Irin's going to have the gap. Yeah, he's going to have the grip easily to go over it. So Irin regain time. And look at this, the battle. The battle for P4 continues. Throne temporarily ahead. We're going to see them flying around the club corner, still side by side. Caplo just behind in P7. I forgot to mention him, but let's have a look at Powdy. Powdy, penultimate lap then. He hasn't got many more opportunities to get the race win here. He's going to have to think about making a move. Caplo up to P6. What a race he's had. And 141.719. My goodness. Well, though, and Iran's already caught Ugi Azim. He's already caught Ugi Azim. And he passes him with ease. Iran is on a charge, but is it too little too late? He's only got about 1.5 laps to gain some more positions. Just don't think that's enough time for him, really. So this is the main this is the story now. Powdy. Harassing. Pressuring Hulkenberger. He has done lap after lap after lap here at Silverstone. He's got half a lap of this one, then 1 more lap here to force a mistake from the Ferrari driver. A critical error that will lead him to taking the lead of this race in a decisive action that will win him this round 1 of Formula experience on PSGL. Your post-season entertainment until we get to the new game. It's not that long away now, about 8 weeks away I think. So Powdy then, staring at the back of that Ferrari once again. Look, Iran is overtaking the Ghost Cup. Look at Iran. He's now flying towards Caplo and Game Freaker and Flying Throne. He may overtake all of them on a single lap. And Greeny's got past Ugi Azim and he may gain more place. I really wish I could watch Iran because the intermediates are so much quicker. If he had an extra lap, he might have even had a chance of getting QBR beasts. And oh, Hulkenberg goes very deep. Sebastian Vettel, Canada 2011 style, but doesn't lose the place. Powdy all over the back of him. He's got to just go hammer and tong. He's got to try and get the move done. Iran's got past Cablo already. He's up to P6. Dramatic scenes here at Silverstone. But Powdy is going to try and save. Oh, and he outbreaks himself just a little bit. Struggling now on these ancient wet tyres. And they've done a full race. Of course, you don't have to use 2 different compounds in a wet race, so they're completely fine. Iran's overtaken Game Freaker. He is slicing and dicing through these positions as if they're not even there. Unbelievable. But if Iran hadn't pitted, he probably would be third, to be fair. Because I don't think... So he's given himself entertainment, if anything, but he hasn't really worked out for him. So this is the last chance saloon for Powdy. Can he force Hulkenberg to get a penalty or a mistake? Something like that. Hulkenberger, so much pressure for the man allocated Ferrari. He won't be allocated the Ferrari next week, that is for sure. So he's got to take the opportunity best he can. Iran is now 3.8 seconds behind QPR Beast. Can he go for a last move? Powdy just can't get an opportunity. And here comes Powdy. He's got any chance of the veil? No, he doesn't. So it's going to be Hulkenberger who's going to take us across the line. Hulkenberger wins here at Silverstone and the round 1 of PSGL F1 experience. Brilliant. What a race from Hulkenberger. Powdy with a superb second. And Iran is right on the back of QPR Beast. There is no doubt if he had another lap, he would have got him. But QPR Beast takes a superb third in the Toro Rosso. Iran in 4th. Rome in a very decent 5th. And yellow's in sector 3. What the heck's happened there? Cablo's had an incident. Oh, what's happened to Cablo? He's going to drop out of the points. Oh, goodness. That is heart-wrenching for Cablo. Although he had a 5-second unserved, he would have lost a few positions anyway, but... Oh, goodness. So Hulkenberger, we're just waiting for Big C to finish. But what a result for Hulkenberger. Massive congrats to him. Absolutely magnificent drive from him. He really dealt with that pressure. I mean, of course, yes, the performance of the Ferrari helped him stay ahead, but even so, he was under immense pressure from Audi, who is a higher tier driver than him, and he kept it. So a great win, the maximum points, Hulkenberger, and so he should punch the air in delight. Magnificent. Hulkenberger wins here at Britain to open this Formula Experience Championship. A last-minute replacement for Simo. Simo's rage quit off F1 has given him the greatest opportunity. And he has got it. And he will take that trophy back to the northeast. And he will put it on his mantle. And QPR Beast in P3. We thought it might have been Big C would be the driver in P3. But actually QPR Beast has outshone the 7-time champion today to get onto the podium like that. So we'll go through the full results of the grid, all the penalties confirmed from the game, that is. But yeah, I mean, if there had been one more lap, Irin would have been on the podium, despite stopping an extra time. And look at all that juicy experience I got for that particular stream. So here is your race result then for round 1 of PSGL F1 Experience. Hulkenberger takes the victory, Ripaldi in P2, QPR Beast in P3, Irin started 4th, finished 4th, but gave us plenty of entertainment. Game Freaker in 5th, Jamie in P6, and Greeny LFC once again, just like in the preseason race, starts at the back and finishes in the same place again, P7. So arguably driver of the day material, HDE, the HD train himself, P8, Ugi's in P9, Flying Throne P10 from the back, Ashbest in P11, AMS in P12, Josh in P13, Cablo in 14, Duhovin in 15, Big C and a lowly P16. P17 Free Gloves, although he disconnected, of course. And Blue Mosquito, Julian Amanu, the reigning champion, notably retiring. And, of course, Mr. Grumpy retiring as well. So that is all your entertainment for the PSGL Formula Experience. We're not really having interviews. I think we'll have some for the season finale, perhaps, maybe before, just to hype up the main event, as it were. But I hope everyone enjoyed that race. Certainly lots of thrills and spills around Silverstone. Quite fitting, really, to start the season here, given that it was pretty much, I think this week, 70 years ago, they did the first ever F1 race at Silverstone in 1950. So we will be heading to Canada next week for round 2. Same time, 8 o'clock here on the official YouTube PSGL channel. And that's a very different track, of course. Low downforce, high speed straights, and of course Canada, one of the deadliest tracks for time penalties, so perhaps one Flying Throne won't be looking forward to. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and it's goodbye from me for now.